Hello, thank you for clicking to watch this video. My name is AyoT and you're watching EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. This is the post-match review for the Super Falcons of Nigeria's 1-0 victory over Botswana in their second game of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024. A win for the Super Falcons. A late win courtesy of a Chinwendu Ihezuo goal, her second goal in the tournament so far. A much tougher game than I had anticipated. Boy, did I get it wrong. I thought we were going to go there and outplay Botswana and score a couple of goals. It took a 90th minute strike for us to get the victory. And there's quite a bit for us to talk about. But as always, I'll start by talking about each player and giving them a match rating based on what I thought they did in the match. I'll start with the goalkeeper, Chiamaka Nadozie, a passenger for most of the game. Most of the shots that came towards her were from distance, and she saved them comfortably. Not a bad performance, but nothing great that she had to do in the match as well. I'll give her a steady 6.5 out of 10. She didn't put a foot wrong, but she didn't have anything outstanding to do in the game. That's why she gets a 6.5. Going over to the defense, we had on the left side of the defense Ashley Plumter. Ashley Plumter was her usual self. The only thing that I did not quite like was the number of misplaced passes when trying to play some long balls forward or just not timing the press perfectly. But defensively, she was solid as always. The Botswanans did not really pose that big a threat to the Super Falcons, in all honesty. So for Ashley Plumter, I'm going to give her a 7 out of 10. I thought she did well, but I didn't think that she was as good as she was in the first game for me to give her a higher rating than that. In the center of the defense, we had Osinachi Ohale and Tosin Demey. I'll start with Tosin Demey. I didn't really see her too much in the game. She had a couple moments where she tried to step forward with the ball. Sometimes she overran the ball. She lost the possession. Defensively was good as well. Didn't have too much to do in the game, to be honest. When she did it quite well. But moving the ball forward, she wasn't great. I'll give Tosin Demey a 6.5 out of 10. Osinachi Ohale, similar sentiment. Tried some long balls that went nowhere. Tried to take one or two shots in the game that really did not cause any threats. She can't shoot. We know this. We saw it in the first game with the miss that she had. So I'm going to give her a steady 6.5 out of 10 again. On the right side, we had Michelle Lozier. I thought Michelle was more involved than she was in the first game. I thought she did a bit better than she did in the first game against Tunisia. Going forward, tried to link up with Ajibade a couple of times, tried to get him behind the right back for Botswana, the left back for Botswana rather. I'll give Michelle Lozier a 7 out of 10. I thought she had quite a good game today. In the midfield, we had Deborah Abiodun and Halimatu Ainde. I thought Abiodun again wasn't at her best today, unfortunately. Some ill-timed tackles. The coach is playing her in a more advanced role than she's used to playing typically, and she's obviously not doing so well in the position. She got a yellow card, which means that she's suspended for the third game of the group stage. You might say it's a good time for her to get suspended so that she's going to be able to play in the knockout round and not risk suspension again. But I just felt like the coach is not getting the best out of Abiodun, and she unfortunately is not doing so well in terms of ball progression and in terms of trying to contribute to the game in the attack. I'll give Abiodun in this game a 5.5 or maybe a 6 out of 10 if I'm trying to be nice, but I didn't think it was a good performance by her. Halimatu Ainde playing alongside her, good performance in general. She did her job quite well. She's not an attacking player, so we know this. But in terms of mopping up, the floor and just giving the ball to her more creative, better teammates going forward, I thought she did a job. Again, nothing exciting that really happened in the match like that. So I'll give Halimatu a 6.5 out of 10. And then going over to the attack, we started with Omorinsola Babajide on the left. Babajide was decent. He played in a couple crosses, was always looking like she could potentially be a threat. The coach took her off at halftime again, so it's hard to really rate her this time when she did not score or get any assists like she did in the first game. But in general, in that first half, our attack just wasn't it. We were not as creative as I would have liked to see us play. But we also have to look at the fact that Botswana came into the game with a different tactic than I thought they would. They really showed us a lot of respect, playing with a back five and really trying to be very compact. I'll get into that in a little bit. Babajide, I'll give her a 6.5. I didn't think she was great, but I also didn't think she was poor. We had Tony Payne. Tony Payne, decent game. I thought she was more involved than she was in the first match. She started on the right, but at times she was switching with Ajibade, here and there. I'll give Tony Payne a 6.5. Again, not too much for me to talk about in terms of creativity or in terms of going forward. Ajibade on the right or in the middle, Ajibade won the Player of the Match award, even though I will be honest, I personally didn't think she was the best player. But I'm not going to give her as much take as I saw some people giving her on social media. She played a lot of bad crosses in that game. I have to be 100% honest about that. A lot of her crosses were just not on target, but she also created a few moments, a few chances, and she was always giving that effort. One thing at Ajibade, even when she's not having her best game, she's always going to try. She's always going to play hard. She's always going to run around. And I think that that's part of maybe why they gave her the Player of the Match award. And she did create some opportunities. Most of her crosses were not great. Even her corner kicks were not great. But she did create some of the opportunities that we had in the first half and one or two good opportunities in the second half. And then up front, Asisa Toshuala. Now, I know that a lot of people look for every opportunity to bash Oshuala, to tell us how she has lost her pace, how she's, past her best. We all know she's past her best, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of criticism that comes her way is unwarranted. Oshuala in this game was isolated in the entire first half that she played. She was isolated. Our attack was very blunt. Everybody in the midfield going forward was not creating anything. So it is hard for Oshuala to really get involved in the game. And Nigerians, we like the glitz and glamour. She's not a player who gets the ball and likes to drive around and dribble around. Oshuala is a player that feeds on service. Watch her at her best. They give her the ball, she runs to it, or they pass her the ball and she finishes easily. She's a good finisher. If you give her the opportunities, she will take the chances. But she did not get any opportunity in the first half. And then a lot of people come and start saying, she's a liability, she's this, she's that. I think it is quite unfair. Overall, in this match, I don't think she was involved at all. But I don't think it's because of a lack of effort or because of her just being a bad player. There was no service. I don't see what people expected her to do. I'm going to give her a 6 out of 10 in this match. But she was not bad. Like, she was not playing badly. There was just nothing coming her way. And unfortunately, what is she going to do if you don't give her any balls? Oshuala is not the player that is going to drop deep and get the ball and then dribble 20 yards, 30 yards with it and shoot. That's not what she does. Even balls in behind were not coming to her. We're just playing long ball, long ball, long ball, long ball. I don't know why. I'll talk about that a little bit, but it just was not a good day for our attack. And that's why Oshuala gets a 6 rating. As far as the substitutes, at halftime, the coach brought on Christy Uchebe, Esther Okoronkwo, and Chinwendu Ihezuo, a replica of the subs that he made at halftime of the first game as well. I thought the Okoronkwo for Oshuala sub was a very good sub. Why? Because Okoronkwo has more pace. Okoronkwo could dribble the ball more and try to be more creative. And this was good because we're playing against a Botswana that were packing the bus and that were playing very compact with a back five. Yes, you need a player like that when you're playing against the back five. The coach starting Oshuala, probably he did not expect Botswana to come and set up like that. But at halftime, he recognized this and he realized, okay, we need something a bit different. And Okoronkwo came on. Ihezuo also came on for Babajide. Maybe he could have kept Babajide on the field because Babajide was actually, looking like a threat still. I know after Ihezuo scored the winner, well, people say, of course, he made the right decision. Good effort by Ihezuo to finish that pass from Esther. The combination worked for us again. I'll give Esther off the bench a 7 out of 10. I'll give Ihezuo off the bench a 7.5. I thought they combined well. Ihezuo's instinct to finish was a very good one. And I'm happy that they got the goal. And then Christy Uchebe came on for Tony Payne at halftime. I thought Christy did very, very, very well. I thought she moved the ball a lot better than Abiodun was doing. It allowed Abiodun to be able to sit back a little bit more and allow Christy to play ahead of her. And funny enough, I thought she was moving the ball forward better than Tony Payne did in the first half, even though Tony Payne is supposed to be the more creative of the options. I thought Christy also had a better game than she did against Tunisia in the opening match of the tournament when she came off the bench. Less times that she gave away possession and more times that she was really spreading the ball out wide, progressing the play, driving forward with it. So I was happy with Christy's performance today. I'll give her a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think she was obviously as good as Esther or Ihezuo, or Plumter or Michelle, but I thought she had a good game. And then Jennifer Echegini came on as well for Deborah Abiodun eventually. She had a shot on targets that was well saved by Bosija, the Botswana goalkeeper, and she was trying to be creative and good for us. I don't think it was a particularly good game. I also don't think it was a particularly bad game. I'll give Jennifer Echegini a 6.5 out of 10. And then for the coach, Justin Madugu, I thought today was a poor coaching job, I have to say. I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt. I want to see how he performs at the tournament. I'm not casting him away. They won the match. They qualified for the next round. They still haven't considered a goal in the tournament. But today showed that a coach with ideas can outcoach Justin Madugu fairly easily. And the way Botswana set up today, it was so hard for us to break us down. Yes, the coach made some subs that eventually changed the game, but I'm inclined to believe that the subs that he made were not really with that much tactical influence, because the way we were trying to play did not really change much. It was just the players that changed, and the players came with a different set of individual qualities. Now I might be wrong, and you need that, okay, those qualities that they have are going to make the difference, but it almost did not make any difference. I honestly did not see too much of the coaching input today, especially in the first 45 minutes. Even if you think that a team is going to play a certain way and then you come and you see something different, you should be able to on the field make some adjustments, give them some new instructions that will be able to show in the game. And the long ball, long ball, long ball, long ball that we're playing, I do not understand it. I was asking myself, is this what the coach asked them to do, to try to take advantage of the height difference between them and Botswana? Or was this something that the players just felt like, okay, let them just be kicking the ball up? Because it did not make sense. What happened to putting the ball on the ground and actually trying to play? Everybody that knows football knows that when you're playing against a team that is playing very compact, you try to keep possession, you move the ball from side to side, you try to draw them out, and then you find the half spaces. And of course, sometimes you play long ball, sometimes you cross. But today, we just seem to have no tactical shape. And it was not nice to see at all, because it starts to make you wonder what will happen when we face some of the teams that actually have good coaching, like the Moroccos. Even though they're not as talented as we are, but it showed that Botswana could hold us for 90 minutes. So other teams potentially might be able to hold us if we play the same way. For Coach Madugu, you won the match. You did not concede. You made subs that made a difference. So I'm not going to rate you poorly, but I felt like you did not do a good job today. Coach Madugu gets a rating of 5 out of 10. I think he can be a lot better, and we need to see a lot better if we are going to win this competition, because clearly talent alone is not going to do it for us. Talent alone is not going to do it for us. We need other factors, including our coaching, to be good in this tournament. So, yes, those are my match ratings for the game between Nigeria and Botswana. Let me know your own match ratings in the comments, whether you agree with me or not. I always like to engage with you guys. So, what are some positives and what are some negatives that we can take out of this game? Some people like to say bad news first. So let's go with the negatives. Negative is our coaching seems to be lacking. Our coaching seems to be lacking. Coach Madugu, we did not really see your influence that much in this game. It feels like we won the game due to individual brilliance and one moment of quality from Esther Okoronkwo and very good anticipation and stretching of her leg from Chinwendu Ihezuo. We need to see more coaching. We need to have better ideas of what our opponents would do. And even if they spring up surprises for us, we need our coaches to be able to deal with them better. I think that was a very, very big negative. Another negative, attack, attack is lacking. Attack is lacking. We have quality players. On paper, we have big names, but our attack is not connecting. We are not being creative. We don't seem to be able to break a team down. We don't look that organized. We need to fix this. Stop the long balls. Stop the long balls. Move the ball. Create chances. Find the gaps. Make runs. We need to do better. I don't know what exactly the coach needs to change. Maybe he plays a different set of players, or if the players that he's playing right now are not giving him what he's asking for. But our attack needs to do a lot better. I have high standards for these players because I have a lot of respect for them. Whether it be Babajide or Ajibade or Payne or Shwala, I think that everybody needs to do better. Okoronkwo has been a super sub in this tournament, and long may it continue. Ihezuo has also been a super sub in this tournament, and long may it continue. But our attack needs to do a lot better. Another negative, our midfield cannot seem to progress the ball well enough. Whether it be Abiodun or Ainde, or even Uchebe sometimes. Our midfield doesn't seem to progress in the ball forward well enough. Today, Uchebe did a very good job of that, in my opinion, when she came on. But Abiodun is just not giving us the level of performance that we want. And does what Ainde does in terms of tackling, winning the ball back, and things like that. Abiodun is unfortunately going to miss the next game. So he's going to see the coach make some changes because he has no choice. And I'm interested in seeing how he sets up the midfield for the third match and instructions that he gives the players to be able to get the best out of them. We need to move the ball forward better. We need to cut the long balls from the defense, get the midfield more involved, let them actually link up with their attackers and create something of quality. Positives. We won. Ultimately, the most important statistic in football is the score statistic, and the Super Falcons of Nigeria won that game by 1-0. So we have to take it as a positive, and we have to be happy about it, despite the goal coming very late. Positive, we kept a clean sheet. 2 games, 0 goals conceded. It's always a good thing. The defenders will be happy, the goalkeeper will be happy, the coach will be happy, the team will be happy. Our defense hasn't been tested yet, so we don't really know what they are going to look like when we play against a team that can actually challenge us. I'm looking forward to the quarterfinals. But for now, we have to take the positive in the fact that we did not concede a goal. Another positive, super sub strike again. Esther, Okoronkwo, Chinwendu, Ihezuo combined for the winner. Ihezuo is funny because sometimes when I talk, a lot of people would say certain things about me. Some people say, hey, I have bias. Oh, AyoT does not know what he's saying sometimes. At the Olympics, when Nigerian fans were on Ihezuo's case, I was one of the few people that was actually telling people that, look, I know she's missed chances, but she's a good player. Now, it's the same Ihezuo that everybody say, she should be starting every game. Oshoala cannot do this. Why is Ihezuo not starting? At the end of the day, see, football, when it's your moment, it's your moment. When it's not your moment, it's not your moment. Olympics was not her moment. WAFCON is looking like it's her moment, at least so far as it's going. Ihezuo has always been that player that has that quality, that works hard, that presses from the front, that fights for everything, and that scores goals. And I'm happy that she's scoring goals in this tournament so far. And same for Esther Okoronkwo. She has that skill, she has that finesse, she has the ability, the creativity, the quality under her left peg. I'm sure she's probably still going to score a goal in this tournament. So I'm happy that the super subs are combining and are giving us the results that we need. Those are 3 negatives and 3 positives. There are a few other ones here and there, but I wouldn't hop into them too much. Let me know what positive or negatives you observed as well in the comments below. Overall, I have to give credit to the coach of Botswana. I have to give credit to the players of Botswana. I thought they fought hard. I thought they did well. And they'll probably look at themselves and say they were unlucky to concede that late goal and to lose the match. But they've now lost 2 games. So it's an uphill battle for them in terms of trying to qualify. They need to win their 3rd game so that they can potentially go in as one of the best 3rd place teams. But I wish them all the very best. And I'm happy that the Super Falcons have qualified for the quarterfinal. I want to see what changes the coach makes ahead of the game against Algeria. And I'm going to, of course, do a match preview on that to talk about what to expect from both sides and, you know, what it means for the group depending on the results. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and thank you for watching EaglesTracker of Nigerian football. More WAFCON content to come for sure. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.